And today's lesson is a critical one. It's about the master mentor, how to pick your right guide to super health. Boy, if there's one thing that I can encourage you to do, and that is to find a mentor, and particularly what I call master mentor. Why do I say a master mentor? Well, mentors, for example, they can be a lot of different people, and most virtually every successful person I ever met, they all had mentors in their life. They all had coaches and they all had mentors. And the difference with a mentor doesn't always have to have a personal relationship with a regular mentor. So for example, you can read a book. I read books about Arnold Schwarzenegger. Now, Arnold wasn't coaching me directly, but through mentorship, through the principles that I learned from him, I was able to adapt and learn principles of success. Now, it's never as good as having a direct coach, but it certainly is cost effective, because today you can get the best of the best in virtually any field to mentor you. The greatest minds who ever existed in history are all available at the click of a button. $5 or $10, you can own their book when you might not even had a chance. So there's never been a better time to accelerate, and I think this is why some people are just doing so well, because they've incorporated mentorship. I know I'm a big fan of Ty Lopez, and he's really big on mentors, and he says that mentors are in his books. But there's another level of mentor. So whatever field you're in, you want to take your advice from the best of the best. Okay? Now, a master mentor, what is that? A master mentor is somebody who is directly influencing you. You have some sort of interaction with that person. And I remember early on, I learned about coaching. I had hockey coaches and stuff, but when I got into bodybuilding, there wasn't that many bodybuilding coaches then. And I hired Scott Abel, and Scott became my master mentor. Not only did he teach me about the sport of bodybuilding and how to excel in that, but he also taught me how to be integrated into life. He was living a lifestyle that I wanted to live. He was coaching people. He was doing what he was loved. He was getting a lot of feedback that was wonderful. He had a lifestyle that I liked, and I said, yeah, that's who I want to be. In a very short period of time, I was able to cut. This is the thing about mentorship. You cut the learning curve. Okay, so Warren Buffett says, it's true that the only way to learn is from mistakes, but who said that you have to learn from your own mistakes? It's a lot easier to, to step away from the mistakes that even the master might have made. So the master oftentimes says, hey, here's my experience. Here's what I've done. Here's some things that worked. Here's some things you definitely want to avoid. When somebody that's, 20, 30, or 40 years older than you says, hey, you might want to check yourself on that one, listen to them. They've got a lot more life experience. And, traditionally throughout the cultures that have survived the longest is mentorship was passed down, the apprentice cycle. There was a master and an apprentice. You learned the skills from that person that they developed over a lifetime. You were able to learn in a very short period of time, cutting that learning curve. So getting the master mentor is someone who's directly influencing your daily life. So right here, now that you're part of this course and you're really well in, I want to congratulate you in getting this far, is understanding that we're kind of in a mentorship position. We're sharing with you the techniques, the tricks, the trade secrets, the methodologies that have allowed both everyone in our company and the clients that we've worked with over the years to really hit a new level of health, vitality, and excellence, that high level of performance. So you're getting a certain amount of influence, but when you get into your day-to-day, I would encourage you to get the specifics. What I would check the gender. Often, some people respond better to opposite gender. Some people respond better to the same gender. You have to kind of determine, what's right for you. As far as age goes, And sometimes in certain areas, gender doesn't really matter, okay? But sometimes it's very important. It depends on the issue. So you got to kind of use your judgment on that one. Age, ideally, somebody who's 10 to 20 years older. And the reason being is they've just recently gone through your stage of life. This is kind of like what I call the sweet spot, because they grew up in that culture, they grew up in that methodology, they grew up in kind of a lexicon that you understand, and they're not too far away from the gender gap. Sometimes when you get too far out here, it's hard to relate, especially when you're younger. As you get older, it gets a little easier, but in your early years, sometimes you want someone a little bit closer to your age. The other thing is, your master mentor must be sport specific or lifestyle specific. So, for example, years ago, I was well known as a bodybuilding coach. I was really into the field. I was, kind of competing at the highest levels, and I coached a lot of people based on bodybuilding. Now what I find is, because I've moved into I've transited my bodybuilding career into a health career, and oftentimes I have the same challenges that a lot of executives have. So nowadays I find myself dealing more with executives. We have other coaches that deal with athletes. We have other people that are dealing with like compromise, situations, health situations, those sort of things, and of the gender. So I can't overemphasize that sometimes, guys can relate more to guys, and women can, relate more to women. And that's just, I'm not trying to be like, making this a man-female thing. I'm just talking about relatability. Sometimes we can hear things from someone who's been there and done the things that we want it to do. The other thing is in a master mentorship, a mentorship, that person's not directly coaching you. Master mentorship, they're coaching you. So, for example, I remember when I first met, Dr. O'Brien, and he started teaching us about, how to optimize the cellular environment. His influence, even though, we only had to work with him a very short period of time, it was so powerful and so impactful that it's literally carried myself and my colleagues and my business partners for decades. And that's, a real master mentor can just say a few things that can impact you for a long time. And oftentimes it's going to cost you. It cost me a lot of time, effort, and energy, money as well, to get that master mentor. But you know what? It accelerated my growth probably by 20 years, maybe even more, because it was like a course correction. My life was kind of going, this way, right? And then, I got my first coach, and then it started going here, and then I got my second coach, and it started going here, and I started learning programs and mentorship, and it was over here. And then I got, when I got introduced to some of these guys, boom, the curve went way up. My growth shot up exponentially, and my results went up at the same level. But the reality is this is going to probably cost you, and you have to choose what's right. Starting out, go with the regular mentorship. Read the books, the tapes, the CDs, go to the courses, attend the seminars. Sooner or later, you're going to run into that person that you really resonate, that you have like a kinship with. It's something that you feel inside your body, you resonate with. You say, that's the person. You'll hire them, and you allow them to kind of guide you on the specific side of things. Some of these people, are going to be more on the scientific side, which I love, and some are going to be more on the art side, the philosophical. Now, depending on your personality type, you're going to respond to a different mentorship. So there's no right and there's no wrong. There's just what is optimal for you. So I hope you understand that. Hope you understand the importance of a master mentor. And if you want to be part, we will be eventually opening up the doors to a master, opening up doors up to a master mentorship program. So if you're interested in, finding out, it's going to be a very, very, very small group of people. It's not going to be a large group. And I don't know how many we can take. And so if you're interested in that, you can always, email us at the site or connect in here or just send a message out to us at BiOptimizers. and ask about the Master Mentor program. You'll be put into a special list. You'll be asked a bunch of questions because this kind of relationship is very, very high level. This is a lot of time and energy and effort, and it's not for everybody. So just so you know, that's Master Mentorship. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you think about getting a mentor in your life. We want to take you on the growth curve as fast as possible. And I can tell you this, don't underestimate, the power of mentorship. Years ago, I struggled for a long period of time, and I wasted probably a decade of my life because my ego was too big and I thought I could know everything. And you know what? I got a Master Mentorship, and at first it was uncomfortable. And at first they told me things I didn't want to hear. But you know what? In 1 year, I was able to produce more results than I did in the 10 years that I didn't have one. So go out there, get yourself a mentor, take it to the next level. I want to congratulate you for staying so long on this course already. We've just done day 55. Can you believe it? That's amazing. Congratulations. Let's go to the home stretch and really, take your body to the next level. And of course, we'll be there to answer all your questions on our site. So we'll see you at the next lesson.